Well, hello. We're at Chartridge Lodge in Chesham, Buckinghamshire. The first time I've ever been to this area, and we're at a little gathering of friends for a informal workshop based around Iberthire. It's not an official workshop. This is very much strictly between friends, and it's just as much a social gathering as it is about workshops. And gosh, we've had a wonderful time already, haven't we?
Yes.
We're all pretty exhausted because all we've done since we met up yesterday, and we were all here early, is talk, and we've shared knowledge. So you all know me, I'm Nicola. This is
Linda.
I'm Janet.
And this is
hiding up the corner.
Who's hiding in the corner? But she might talk on the film a little bit later.
Come on in. And here's Pat.
And here's Pat.
Dragged into this.
Yes. And the last time that we were all together was at the attic in Arizona.
Yes.
Yes. So, and we'll be together again in America next year as well, won't we?
Yes, we will.
We will be. So
With Suzanne as well.
That's right.
Yes, we have a new friend joining us.
Yes. So this is the end of our first day, and there's been so much exchange of knowledge.
Yes.
And we've
Very
all,
informative.
Oh gosh, and we've all contributed, and we've all shared things. And we all want to go to Linda's house to look in her closet, because Linda has
No, you can't. It's mine.
I've got such a small house. That's not, they don't realise this.
But the whole house is stuffed full of stitching things.
Yes.
So everybody else has gone out, and they've probably gone to have a rest, or
They're waiting in the bar.
they're waiting in the bar.
Yes, let's be
or they
honest.
have a bit of a wait.
Yes.
And we've actually got talking again, and we feel that we want to share with you what we're talking about. So I thought maybe Janet brought what looks like a pen, and I've never seen these before, and they are absolutely fabulous. Do you want to talk about it?
I first saw these at a quilting group. One of the ladies had one. They're actually made in Australia, and it's a guy that turns the synthetic barrels, and he started off making fountain pens, and I don't know who asked him if he'd make something for stitchers, but one end has a very sharp bodkin in it, which is quite useful, and the other end has a seam ripper. He does do them with two seam rippers, a small one and a bigger one, and they just clip in. And he does all sorts of colours. They're very unique.
And this guy's on Facebook, isn't he?
He is on Facebook.
Can we remember what the name of it is?
Wasn't it John's Pens?
Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the moment you showed me one of these and I put it in my hand, this is so tactile.
Yes.
And this is a beautiful piece of workmanship, isn't it?
Yeah.
You buy one of these, and providing you don't lose it, it will last you, won't it?
Yes, definitely.
He's in Hervey Bay, near Brisbane.
Right.
Just off the coast, or on the coast, near... I can't remember the name of the island now. I've been there, but I can't remember the name. But he's definitely on the website. And what he does usually is when he has a new set of colours, he puts them up as individual posts on Facebook.
Right.
And if you want it, you say that you want it, and then he'll mark it as sold and contact you to deal with selling it.
Wonderful. Anyway, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And then another thing that came out last night that I think is absolutely fabulous is
the bag.
this bag. Now, who wants to talk about the bag?
Well, it's my bag.
Yes.
I keep all my bits in it.
You can
but
see
Linda
all the bits.
sourced it from America.
It does all black.
Yes, it's absolutely
Let's
brilliant
close
to
the
keep
zips
everything
up.
in.
Yes.
Oh no, they can see the bits if they want.
Right, so
Yep.
It's concertinaed by poppers, but you can actually open it up and put it out.
And it is ironable on the ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could use this as a little ironing board for quilting
Yeah,
projects, I
yes,
suppose,
yes.
couldn't you?
Anything.
Yes.
If you needed to sort of put an
And
iron or
it's-
something.
It's just absolutely wonderful. I just love it. Love, love, love it. And then you just fold it back up and you pop them back in.
2 at each end. 1 at each end.
It does come with handles as well for on over your
Yes,
shoulder.
there is a strap if you wish to carry it, but I don't use it.
Oh, hang on.
Do you want me
If
to
I
do
put
it?
my glasses
There
on, I
you
can
go.
actually see, couldn't I?
I know that feeling.
And
well.
it is magnetic at the top, so that when you've got it together, it just closes.
That's lovely. So you can actually wear it as a
Yes,
shoulder bag
yes.
or maybe
Yes.
like a handbag.
Yes.
They're all individually made, and I did have a look last night, and it's actually the place called Quiltessa.
Well, it's fabulous. Absolutely
Yes.
fabulous.
Yes.
And they do a large version.
They
as
do
well.
a medium
Yeah,
and then a large.
right.
The medium, double that size, and the large, a
Tote
good size bag, and those are brilliant.
Any idea what sort of cost they are?
I think one this size, $45,
Right.
which obviously exchange rate at the moment does make them slightly more expensive. And I would say the largest of them is probably about $90. Don't quote me, I may have got that wrong, but I know that was $45.
You know I
when
want
looked.
I want all of them.
You wanted that one and the next size up, or that one and the big tote? I'll send you a picture when I get home.
Maybe I'll have all three of them, I don't know.
But I must admit, I treated yourself
Yes,
to one,
I've
and I
got one.
treated
Yeah.
Pat to one,
they're
because they are very user friendly.
They're wonderful.
If anybody can source anything, it's Linda.
Yeah, it's Linda. You're the queen of shopping.
Queen of
Needlework
shopping.
Yes.
Properly.
Now, the other thing that caught my eye is this, and as it's yours, would you like to talk about it?
Right, I went to the attic with, I think it was last year, but it was the year before, with
yeah.
Jackie DePlessis. And the attic had got these, and it is brilliant. Obviously, that's for rolling your work in, but at the ends, one side is a pincushion, the other end it's for you to be able to put all your bits and pieces in and working needles, whatever, into, so you've got everything together. And I find it fantastic for rolling, as I say, my work into. And that was from the attic, and it was exceedingly reasonable. It was
And this
about-
is made by Elizabeth Beth.
yes,
Her work
it's
is
absolutely
perfection.
unbelievable.
Perfection.
I mean, it's the same as her little needle.
Absolutely. We both got those.
Yes.
So,
I've
Jean,
got one
if
too
you're
now.
watching,
Yes.
can I order one of these, please? A little bit wider and much longer.
And can I order one a little bit wider and a lot longer? And I'll come over and pick it up.
Yes.
That would be the best then.
But the workmanship in it, it's
Oh, anything that Ben
Beautiful.
does is beautiful.
absolutely beautiful.
Well, I've got mine laid out on the table. It goes
Well, that's
everywhere.
the type of length I could
Yes,
do with.
which is for a bandsaw
Yes,
length, which
yes.
is lovely.
And I
So-
mean,
It's a
it
beautiful
does.
stitch.
It is,
Absolutely
isn't it?
gorgeous.
Yeah. And then the other thing that Linda showed me last night is this little packet.
Yes, and it's there's 3 different sizes, and it's needles, but it's not just straightforward. They have tiny little bubbles, and I doubt it will be able to show on a video. Straightforward needles, except for tiny little balls on the tip end. When you're doing such as the extra fine linen, you find that one, it finds the hole as you count across, it pops through the holes very gently and doesn't split the fabric.
And that's really important. What I found when I was stitching on 56 count fabric on Harriet Salt, I used a sharp and I put 3 holes in my fabric.
Yes.
Using a sharp, and in the end I went back to using a number 28, which worked perfectly.
Yes. But that, I mean, fair enough, there's certain aspects that you would have to use a proper needle for,
Yeah.
for possibly finishing off,
Yeah.
threading your silk through.
Yeah.
But on the whole, for the main stitching,
Absolutely
they
amazing.
are brilliant.
And for our UK needle workers, you can actually get these in the UK.
Yes,
can't you?
I personally get them from a little shop locally to where I live, Betty's Stitch Kit. She is on Facebook and on the web. It's only a little small shop, but it does everything you could wish for, and the only one that I know of nearby myself.
Yeah, and in the States, I'm sure that the main needle workshops like the Attic, Sassy Jacks, Needle in a Haystack, maybe Traditional Stitches will have these.
No, Jean had never heard of them.
Really?
So I have given Jean 2 or 3 to try,
Try.
and the name of the supplier.
Oh gosh, it's unusual for us to have something in the UK first, but we are sharing with the US.
Yes. Well, as I say, I did give Jean some because I know Jean loves working on the higher count fabrics.
Yeah.
For her to try, and she said she was going to, and I did give her the name as well.
Yeah. So Linda's very kindly shared this packet with me for me to go home.
I will be
and-
very interesting to see
Yes.
what you
Yes,
feel about
very
them.
much so. Then the other really exciting thing for me is that Janet and Linda and Christine, who's at the bar, we think,
Yes, I know she
probably,
is.
Yes, that'll do.
have brought their Mary Claytons. And if Janet holds up her Mary Clayton, and maybe if
I haven't got a Mary
holds up,
Clayton.
Christine's,
Okay.
you can see the difference between the two of them.
Sorry.
And
That's fine.
Christine stitched hers on
28
20
with DMC.
with DMC, and she changed some of the colours. And you stitched yours on 37 count Legacy Linen Wild Honey,
Yeah,
and you used the
a very slight.
Aurora Soir d'Alger colours. And I think this goes to show people that no matter what you choose to stitch on, what count of linen and what threads that you use, that every sampler is very, very beautiful. Christine's needlework is very good, and I love the way that she's hem-stitched, and she's hem-stitched this so beautifully. The way that she has finished this off is very
That's
good,
one of
isn't
her
it?
favourite things to do.
Yeah, that's
Christine's the queen of hemstitch.
Hemstitch.
Yes.
She loves putting the hemstitch borders on.
And look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you so much for stitching her and then for bringing her. Really, really lovely. And Janet, you've also brought another finish, and it's a sampler I charted on behalf of Sassafras samplers. And it's that's the back.
Oh, there you go.
The whole world has seen your back.
You couldn't tell the difference.
No.
Middle
And-
misread.
And this is Middle Misread by from Sassafras Samplers, and again it is absolutely beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much for bringing Middle Misread. Now, is this on the Wild Honey as well?
Yes, it is.
It is,
Yeah.
isn't it? And the Wild Honey, it lends itself to so many samplers. There's something about this colour that it's like a chameleon. It changes
It does change colour
with the silks that
with
you
the
lay on
silks,
it.
yeah.
So that's really, really
Yeah.
beautiful. So thank you for bringing that one as well. And Janet, Pat and Linda were at the Attic for the Sampler Symposium, and they took my class for Elizabeth Charlotte Cotton. And it's just filled my heart yesterday for Linda to bring her finish. And this is the only finish or the first finish that I know of this
I'm
beautiful,
first at something.
well, that I'm aware of. And this sampler is, well, it just takes your breath away. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful sampler. Now, tell me about the linen that you chose and the silks that you chose.
Right, unfortunately, and truthfully, I can't remember the colour because Jean at the attic had a piece, I believe it is the colour that was supposed to be being used.
Yes.
But they'd made a mistake, so it was a one-off, and now nobody else would be having this particular colour. But it's a 5260 linen, so obviously it can alter the size of it. And then I did a mixture of threads, Tudor silk, which is a very, very fine thread, and you're going to have to pronounce this, which is the thread that it was
The
supposed to...
Auvera Soir d'Alger.
See, Black Country people cannot pronounce that. And as I say, I used that because for the satin work, because I found the Tudor silk was that little bit too fine for the coverage, and using the thicker, it just meant there was one strand because of being 5260. I changed a couple of the pink in particular and the yellow. I did it initially and I thought needs to be tweaked just a touch. So you'll see that the yellow I got slightly darker, not a lot, just enough. And also the baby pink, as I called it, I went to more of a salmon, just to stand out from the fabric a little bit more.
The stitching is, beautiful.
Thank you.
Well done, Linda.
I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. I really did.
And I loved with this sampler that we knew the little girl that stitched it, and we knew her life story, which was nice.
I must admit the story behind it. I mean, it's the first, I'd say only 2 or 3 that I've had from yourselves, and the information behind it all, I found it very, very interesting. My granddaughter Bobby also did. She started having a look, and I was telling her about what was happening with the little girl and her sisters, and unfortunately 3 brothers going to the workhouse. Oh, it's terrible. But it's real life.
And then you brought another finish as well, haven't you?
Oh yes, but that's just a straight. It's called, if I remember right, crisscross, and it is black. Is it black? Something like that. One. It was fun to do, and being as it's all one colour, it was something that I'm able just to take about with me.
Yes.
Without it causing much problem and baggage.
Yeah. So we've got 2 samplers here that we've been talking about, and I've brought Elizabeth Pito with me to show the class, and this is the project at the class I'm teaching at the attic next year, and we've been really enjoying looking at this one. It's exquisite.
It's beautiful.
Unfortunately, the light here is falling the wrong way for you to see the colours, but we've also been looking at Dorothy Walpole, which is one of the most iconic samplers. It's a tremendous sampler, and Janet is so lucky to own the original Dorothy. Here she is, a beautiful, beautiful sampler. And there's a lot of Elizabeth Pito that you see in Dorothy. Elizabeth Pito was 1709, and Dorothy is 1776, 1774. I can't.
1774.
I can't quite remember. And there are definitely whispers of Elizabeth in
I
Dorothy.
think particularly this band here.
Yes.
That's what I said, that
Rice
one.
Stitch band
That's right.
and the Bargello band.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
It is
So-
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm so grateful you bringing Dorothy. It's a sampler that I've always admired greatly, and it's just a joy to see her. You're so blessed having her on your wall.
Well, I was very lucky actually, because I'd seen it on the Scarlet Letter website,
Yes.
and there was a mention that some of her samplers were going to auction, and this was included in the auction. and I contacted her and asked her if she would remove it from auction, and I paid the fee for
Yeah,
it to come back
yeah.
from auction and bought it.
Yeah.
It's only the second of my antique sample. Well, when I say my antique samplers, my I suppose you call them, I don't know, my investment samplers,
Yes,
really.
yes. Yeah.
I've only got 3 that are that. The rest of mine have come from auctions
Yeah.
locally, or the odd one that I've been very lucky to find in a second-hand shop.
Would you like to show our listeners the other investment sampler you've got?
They'll recognise it.
We're surrounded by samplers here.
Yes.
We've got lots and lots of them, and I've brought quite a few band samplers that we've been
Yes.
enjoying. So there we are.
One that Nicola is very familiar with.
This is the original Mary Ann Bourne's.
Have you got it?
Yes,
Well, she's quite heavy.
Let's try her this way. This is a beautiful, beautiful sampler, and so unusual for the 1700s. Well, the late 1700s. I've never seen a sampler of this period that has this motif on. And I'm so grateful that Janet has brought her so I could see her again. For quite a while this sampler hung in my home, but really she deserved to be with Janet because Janet is a beekeeper. So it was a no-brainer, wasn't it, Janet?
It was, yes.
Yeah. And Janice has brought us all some honey from
Yes.
her bees. So we're going home with some really, really beautiful honey, aren't we? So I think that it's nearly time for our dinner
Yes,
reservations.
and
isn't
we
it?
might need to pop for a little drink first.
Oh, I want pot of tea.
That's fine. Tea
Yes,
is good.
perfectly
Tea
fine.
is good.
Tea's good.
Yes.
So I hope you've enjoyed having a sort of listen to our little conversations that we have.
A little
and
bit of an insight in a weekend.
That's right.
Although it's not the weekend,
No,
it's during
no,
the
it's
week.
a little
This is a
weekend.
weekend.
It's a weekend.
Yes, it's a weekend
Yes,
for us.
it is. So
Yes.
until the next time, bye-bye.
Bye.